Yo. Okay, hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Dustin Anderson from Anderson Glass out of Waco, Texas. Some of you might recognize me from HGTV's Fixer Upper. If you don't, I am the resident glazer on the show. A glazer is someone who manufactures, fabricates, and/or installs glass. I am a third-generation glazer, family business here in Waco. And give me a follow, Twitter, Dustin_Anderson with a 3 for the E in Anderson, or you can get me on Instagram at @Iam_Dustin. I've had a lot of communication from a bunch of you asking me about that insanely rad process where we took clear glass and we made it look like antique mirror, and I am here to show you how to do that today in a step-by-step process. At any rate, I usually put just about yay much, Texas term, I apologize, yay much vinegar to yay much water. Really, here's the idea. This is gonna fall however you like it, right? Because it is a product that you have to be happy with. You're gonna mess this up 2 or 3 or 10 times. The beauty of it is you can take it right off and start over. So play with the mixture, get the amount that works for you, and then go from there. I'm going to be using a piece of seated glass today. I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, you can kind of tell. So seated is an antique type glass. It's got bubbles in it. Some people call it bubbles. I've not antiqued a piece of this before, so I kind of want to see what it's going to look like. Should be interesting. So first things first, you got to clean this bad boy, right? Clean it up really good. Whatever you pack between the glass and the paint is there forever, does not come off, because it's trapped, right? All right, so clean it really, really good. Make sure that you've got both sides clean, just because you're gonna wanna be able to flip it over and check on it as you go. Now on a clear piece of glass, you want to establish some bubbles, I think. So what you can do is, you take your mixture, your vinegar, right? And you do a light bead. You could do some sprays, and you leave that on. What that's gonna do is, that's going to react with the paint when it first lays down, and you're gonna get some like antique dots, some bubbles. You're gonna get those looks that you're looking for. And to me, I think that's key in order to get a really cool look. I, today, am at an advantage because I'm doing a piece of bubble glass or seated glass, so my bubbles are already there. But this is how you establish that look. Take your mirror spray, antique mirror spray, pop the cap, give it a good rattle. Obviously you want to rattle it up really good. And you're going to lay down a coat of this. Here's the thing, do this in an open area. This stuff is potent. Do it in an open area, all right? That's all I'm going to tell you. All right, so let's lay down our first coat. We're going to get some cool reaction with the vinegar mixture. You're going to see it's going to move around a little bit depending on how heavy you got it. Not a big deal at all. Just let it be. I usually come back and hit a second layer. Your overlap is kind of important. If you get a big overlap, you're gonna create lines in your glass. Some people love that look. It's not a bad look. Again, it's what makes you happy and what you want at the end of the day. So I'm gonna lay that down. I'm gonna let that start to kind of set up, and you'll see in here, because of how much light I've got coming in the building, you'll start to see the reactions. And you can kind of see there where as it dries, it starts to create some of these bubbles in some of these other areas. While that dries, I'll give you a couple of cool ideas. This is super bright. This is an old wood window that we tore out of a house when we were doing a window tear out and replacement. And all I did was tape off the back. So that's what you would do with an antique door. You would tape off all of your areas with painter's tape. And I did this exact process on this. This thing was, I mean, you could pick these up for like 15 to 25 bucks at your junk stores, or your junk in the trunks, or whatever you guys call them. Pick these things up. You can do this. This is a really cool technique. It's a great finished product. This thing's ready to go on the wall. I mean, done deal. Simple, cool, clean, antique mirror. Looks like this thing was in there for hundreds of years, and that's the look that we're going for. So you can tell that my piece has kind of started to dry. I like to look at it and kind of see what I've got. I don't like how much I don't like how little mirror is on here, so I'm gonna lay down a second coat really quick. This stuff dries really fast, which is the beauty of it. It doesn't take a long time to make this happen. Again, being an open area, there's no secret to how to lay this down other than your overlap and giving yourself some room. I'm gonna let that dry again. As that dries, this would be the time where you're gonna come in with a paper towel, a small paper towel. Some people use a rag. I like a paper towel because I can control the size, which to me is really important because on some mirrors, depending on the size, you're gonna want to get more of an effect, and in some cases you're not. So it's dry, right? And I've got some heavier spots, which you'll be able to see. I'll put this video here up over it, and I'll probably take some pictures for you. But I've got some heavier spots that are still wet. So what I do is I take my paper towel in a very small portion, and I get into those areas and I kind of just hit them up. And what you'll see is you can move them around a little bit, and you'll see them kind of crack. That's the look that I like. I like that look a whole lot, okay? So I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna get rid of the excess vinegar water in order to allow that to crack and dry, because I don't want to trap water in the middle. It'll eventually work its way out and you'll get a look that you probably don't like at all. So I do that to all of the spots where I lay down heavy. Where I lay down small spots, I go to a dry portion of my rag or my towel, whichever you are using, paper towel, and I just kind of work some areas over. I do a little twist technique. You're gonna play with it. It's Mother Nature. You just kind of gotta let it do its thing and figure out what works best. But I kind of do some blotting, I kind of do some play here and there. You can additionally lay down some more of this, let it sit for a minute, and what you'll find is you'll be able to wipe that off once that is set up for a couple of good 45 seconds or 2 minutes or however long you plan on leaving it. It'll take the paint completely off. So what that does, it allows you to get a small dot on your glass. So when you lay down your next color, whether it's gold or you do another little bit of silver or you do black, it gives you an antique dot, like a spot where the mirror has gone bad. So another thing that I love to do is I like to work the edges, because that is where the most moisture gets in on old mirrors, and that's where your mirrors start to go bad first. So I work my edges. I sometimes do a little line of back and forth where I scratch and give it this and that. And other times I just I'll just kind of work the edges just with that twisting technique. You're gonna find what works for you. Again, you don't want it to look man-made. You want it to look like this was Mother Nature doing its thing, and you'll figure that out as you play with this. Now I know you're probably thinking, well, you've got a ton of glass because you have a glass shop, so that's easy for you to say. You're right, but I bet somewhere you've got an old picture frame sitting around that either has a picture in it that you don't like, or it doesn't even have a picture in it at all. Probably got the original people in it, they're like standing there all pretty and stuff. Take that picture out, throw it away, throw the frame away, or DIY that for another project, save it for a rainy day, and play on that piece of glass. It's a great place to practice this technique. Okay, so I'm done with this process. I am going to lay down just a really heavy spot right here so that you can see kind of what I'm talking about with it coming through. This is the part where you'd want to lay down your gold. For those of you that asked about it, you know, gold's making a comeback. It is coming back. I promise you, you're going to want to potentially put some gold in here. Sometimes in these larger areas, if I get crazy and I don't like what I see, I'll take my mirror spray and I'll lay down one more small, just over that spot. I'll hit it one time. It's going to lay down just a little bit of reflective, so it's not straight black coming through. And what that's going to allow you to do is kind of give it that patinaed look, right? Because that's what we're going for. So let that dry for just a second, and then I'm going to start laying down the black, which is my finished out product. It doesn't have to be any specific black. There's nothing special about it. I use flat because I like flat black. I think it's going to give me the best finish out. It's not going to shine through in any areas. We're also working on getting a product out that you can put on the back of this that will encapsulate what you've done and give it a more rugged feel. So between the adhesive promoter, the paint that we're working on that reacts to this, and that backer, you can actually make a mirror, an antique mirror that you can hang on the wall, or you could do small tiles and do a tile backsplash. I've seen that. It looks insanely cool. Very, very rad. And so when we get that ready, I'll let you guys know, and we'll start working on trying to get that out and available to the general public, because it's not a product that we should hoard to ourselves in the glass business. It's just my thoughts. All right, so I'm gonna lay down black. Here we go. Again, there's no trick. There's nothing secret about what I'm doing here. I'm straight up laying down black, flat black paint. I do want to make sure I've got good coverage. You don't want to lay down too much. It'll take forever to dry. It's easier to put on a second coat when spray painting than it is to wait for gobs and gobs of paint to dry. So remember that, all right? Don't get crazy, and that's for all spray painting. All right, so that's probably tacky dry. It's probably not super dry. At this point, I would probably lay down a second coat, but you get that part, right? There's nothing special about what we're doing here. And so our finished product is beautifully antiqued mirror. Now, I kind of dig the bubbles in this. I don't know if I dig it as much as I thought I would, to be perfectly honest with you, but that's okay, because this is how we learn, right? So a large area here it kind of worked over. You can kind of see that, and then you can see where I hit the edges over there to kind of give it that dark look on the edges. Guys, it's a fun process. Play with it, enjoy it. You know, let Mother Nature do its thing, because it's a beautiful, beautiful thing when it's done. And if you've got any questions or comments, man, put them in there, and I will check them out, and I will get back to you, I promise, all right? Thank you all for tuning in. Have a good one.